Hey, everybody. Welcome to today's huddle call. It is Friday. Super excited to have y'all on with us today. I have a great guy on the line with me. I've got Jared Maidenberg. Are you there?
I am here, and that is my dog here in the background. Getting ready to put her inside.
Okay, awesome. Jared, I don't know if you heard, but there are a bunch of people on the line from all over the country, and I heard such awesome examples of results. We got insane focus. We've got a bunch of people on the line that have had fat loss. We've got energy. I heard somebody say they got their life back. I heard somebody say that they're feeling much better with their health. Crazy awesome results. Inflammation. We've got a girl on the phone who's really receiving some awesome inflammation results. So that is one of my very favorite things about Keto OS. I think it works like a little army, right? You take your keto, the army goes to work at whatever your very specific issues and areas are. So I'm getting a completely different reaction in my body from Keto OS than my husband is, than Jared is, than you probably is, because that keto goes in and it does the specific job that your body is asking for it to do. So I love that. I think it's kind of a magical thing that it does. It's so cool. I'll give you guys my quick story in case we've never met before, but my name's Natalie Kilbourne. I've got two daughters. They're 14 and 10 years old, and my husband, Corey, is a captain for Delta. When we first looked at Prove It, we were in a super dark place. My husband had been on medical disability from Delta Airlines for 18 months. He ruptured a disc in his back and was dealing with some really severe chronic life-controlling pain. And it had controlled everything about our lives, where we went, what we did, how long we stayed, if Daddy felt good enough to go to some of the kids' things, if he didn't feel good enough. It was a really interesting season in our family. And anybody who knows, a lot of time chronic pain and feeling like garbage every day brings on anxiety and depression and other brain things start happening to you when you just feel like junk. So a friend of ours called and said, hey, you got to try this keto. And at the end of August, I had never heard of ketones. I had absolutely no clue what ketosis was. But at that point, I was willing to try anything for him, right? It's like whatever. We'd flown all across the country. We'd met with the best of the best trying to fix his issue, and we didn't have any answers. So we decided to try the keto. On the first day, my husband felt nothing. So maybe some of you on the line have somebody in your organization that, like, they don't feel anything on the first day. It's okay. It's totally fine. Second day, he felt a little bit of energy, but not a huge shift. The third day, it woke my husband up like a lightning bolt. He felt great for the first time in 18 months. He didn't need a pain pill for the first time in 18 months. So I'm not diagnosing your disease. I'm not, a doctor or anything like that. I'm just a stay-at-home mom that gets to tell the really cool story of what happened to my husband. But after 18 months of medical disability, in 25 days of taking the therapeutic dose of ketones twice a day, he was able to return back to flying full-time. He is a different person. It is so cool to see that anxiety and depression is gone. The inflammation is gone. His brain health is so good. So we have a amazing opportunity to share this product, because I promise you, you guys know a lot of people just like us. You know, a lot of people that just need a break, right? They just need to find out about the ketones so they can start taking them to feel better. And I've got a super cool guy, Jared, on the phone with us. You guys, he has been working a lot of hours and putting together a game plan for the whole tribe. Like, this is one of my favorite things about Prove It, Jared. It's not like, hey, this is my team or this is your team. It's like Jared did something and spent a lot of time and invested resources into making something, and then he says, hey, I think I got something that's pretty great. Let's just let the whole entire tribe use it, which is not normal. In network marketing, a lot of times you'll have leaders who kind of hoard their ideas, or, this is what we do, but we're not going to share it with you. And we have something really unique when people are so open-handed with their ideas, open-handed with their, their work and the things that are working. So, Jared, I want to thank you for the rest of the people on the call. I know you were the spearhead and really spent the most amount of time. You and Maddie V deserve a huge, huge, huge thank you. So from all the people on the phone and all the people in the tribe, thank you for that great investment, because it will pay off big time in people's businesses when they start applying some of the stuff that we're going to talk about. So with that being said, I'd love to hear, for those that don't know you, I'd love for you to share your keto story.
Yeah, Natalie, and I really appreciate you saying that. It's, look, we're all super grateful to be here. And I don't look at, any one team. I mean, we're all a community. I think it starts from the top down with Brian Underwood. I heard him say very early on in my coming to this company and this community, he said collaboration is currency. And I've always been, as are you, Natalie, there's no accidents, like attracts like. Like, we all are here for the better of all. It's not about my team, your team, Red's team, Michael's team, Dustin's team, Michael Beal's. It doesn't matter. We're all here together to improve, to make people better. So hopefully this tool will be part of that, and I really appreciate all your feedback and tweaks. And poor Maddie V, my goodness, we've had him busy for literally weeks and weeks on end. Tweak this, make this bigger, this color. And Mitch and I get our little Green Means Go ring on the finger of the bottom page. I know you'll love that one, Natalie. That was just for you, by the way. But, real quickly, I'll quickly gloss over my story and just get to the game plan. I know that's what everybody wants to hear. And I'm going to stay real still out here in the backyard and not walk too much because I know my phone cuts out here in the woods. But listen, guys, when this company and product found me, we all use this saying, I wasn't looking. But listen, I'd be lying to you guys if, I've been 20 years around this kind of a business. Nothing like Prove It, nothing like Keto OS, but, relationship marketing and, health and wellness. I mean, that's kind of my wheelhouse. It's pretty much what I've done all my life. My background's in holistic lifestyle coaching, which is really just a fancy term for trainer and coach. I did personal training. I helped run gyms. I ran big boot camps. And I got to this point, I'm 44. I feel like I'm 24 now. Didn't at the time 6 months ago. But, I wouldn't say necessarily we were in a dark place, Natalie, but, my son's 17 months old now. I've got a daughter 13, and I'd left the boot camp business, and I was running, and I still do run. In fact, I'm getting ready to head to the boat show, Freedom Boat Club on Lake Conroe, and loved what I was doing, helping families discover a better way to do boating. There's my little shameless plug, Freedom Boat Club. But, here's what happened. I mean, when this product and this company, this conversation found me, and I'll allude on how I found it when we go over the game plan because it's pertinent. I was literally at the dock. It was the end of June. I was 20 pounds heavier than I am today. But beyond the weight, I just didn't feel good. I'm one of those guys that knows what to do. I mean, I've been drinking Bulletproof, butter in my coffee, MCT oil, paleo and real food and natural movement. Like, the native lifestyle was something I've been doing for, on and off and teaching, kind of like Dustin, for 15, 20 years. But I certainly wasn't living that message 6 months ago when this found me. So, I was 20 pounds heavier, didn't feel really good. I was lethargic. My belly was spilling over my gut. And I think there were two kind of line in the sand moments. One, I saw a former client of mine out, and she looked at me and she goes, "Dude, what happened?" Oh. And I'm like, wow. She goes, "Yeah, you're kind of getting pudgy." And I kept blaming it on having a baby. I didn't have the baby, clearly, but, he was 12 months old, baby Jacob. And, I was starting to get that dad bod, right? Pudgy, soft. And, it was cool. I was selling boat club memberships and boating, kind of living the life. But I started to look and feel just like crap, to be frank. So when this product found me, it was a game changer. I know Mick Karshner said, it's literally changed his life. And, without trying to sound cheesy or trite, I mean, that's only the way I could describe my experience. I mean, I was one of the, people that had that instant wow. Within 15 minutes, both my wife, Anna, and I, we took the product, came alive. Literally, the windshield wipers to my brain just cleared the fog. I felt like I could see better. Everything looked clear and more focused. And I looked at my wife and I said, Anna, I said, babe, are you feeling what I'm feeling? And she goes, yeah. and I said, if this stuff's legal, I said, I'm all in. And I called Michael Rutherford and I said, dude, whatever that stuff is, send me more. And then I always tell the story, 3 miserable weeks later, I mean, from the time I had my first sample to the time I got my first VIP pack, these were the early days. We're talking early 6 months ago. We were 3 weeks back ordered, Natalie. And it was 3 miserable weeks. And, you know, all I could say is life has not been the same since in so many ways. So, yeah, it's been an incredible ride.
That's awesome. That's super, super awesome to hear your perspective and your story and all that cool stuff. So let's go through this game plan. And if you guys don't have a copy of it yet, it is on all the major Keto 1, 2, 3. It's on the Pure Vita tribe. It's on the Prove It tribe. It's circulating everywhere. So if you guys need to snag a copy of it, you can go to one of the Facebook groups and grab it because it's right there. You're going to be able to print it off and use it for yourself. So Jared is super clever and came up with the game plan, right? So G is get social, A is ask and allow, M is make use of a third-party tool, and E is engage to enroll. So if you guys can remember that cool moniker of game plan, it will help you as you go about your business. And, you know, let me just also say this, Jared, and I know this would be your feeling too. Like, you don't necessarily need to feel like, oh, my gosh, if I don't follow this game plan to an absolute T, then I'm going to be a loser in this business. Or I have a different style of doing business. Do I need to stop everything I'm doing and change to this? And the answer would be no. This is I see this business, Jared, as like I'm wearing a tool belt like a carpenter would. You know, sometimes they need sometimes they need their drill, sometimes they need the hammer, sometimes they need the paint scraper. Like, this is a tool in your tool belt. If this game plan resonates with you, and if you're somebody who says, like, look, sometimes I'm just lost in the shuffle, and if somebody would just tell me the steps that I need to do, I could rock this business, this is for you, right? This is for you. I know over the course of 9 years that I've participated in this style of business, I have absolutely needed somebody to say, this is what you need to do. If you do this, you will be successful. So this game plan is really going to teach you the habits that you need to have in place in order to get the benefits in the end, which would be go pro, go MVP, qualify for your car. This duplicated over time by just following 4 super simple steps will get you wherever you want to go in this business. So let's talk through the first one, Jared. It's get social. One of the best ways to get social is on Facebook or whatever your medium is. You know, maybe it's Instagram, maybe it's Snapchat, whatever your favorite social site is. Jared, give us some tips on how do we go social, when do we go social, and what are some of the best things that we can say on those social platforms?
Well said, Natalie. And I'll just reiterate real quick what you said there to everyone, because, guys, listen, I've been fortunate enough to be part of this since, the end of June, early July. I could tell you Michael Rutherford did not have a game plan. Jared Maidenberg not have a game plan. Natalie Kilbourne and all of you on the line have not had a game plan before today, and a lot of us have done all right with this without it. So I think what you said was spot on, Natalie. But people still need a track to run on, right? Like, at the end of the day, if you guys look at the other sheet, it's a double-sided sheet when you print it out. All we really do in this business, we use the product. Natalie, that's no-brainer. I mean, when the product's that good, I mean, my goodness, use the product. Now we've got soon-to-be 2, and they're game-changing products. So what's cool, Natalie, is I've been in this business, this industry, this profession of relationship marketing, network distribution, 20 years. And I've never had belief, to be quite frank, like I've had in this product. I was very much and am an entrepreneur And I thought, hey, if, the product's good and people like it, whether it's juice or vitamins or shakes, hey, we can make some money. Guys, make no mistake, this community has been built because of our product. So, if you keep it really simple, and we're about to run through that game plan and get social, but just look on that other sheet, use the product. It's not hard. I had mine this morning first thing, jumped in a cold pool just like Natalie does every morning. She loves cold water, just like me. And I literally came alive. So in 15 minutes, I changed my state before this call by drinking pure therapeutic ketones, jumping in a cold pool. Number one's easy to do. Number two, not so much. So do that at your own discretion. And two, we share our experience. We share the product. We share the experience. That's the second circle. We're getting ready to run through that. But you know what? Honest to goodness, with no game plan, Natalie, as you know, we just got excited. Many of you on the call got excited and just started sharing what you're excited about. So we use the product, we share the product, share the experience, and we build our tribe. So those are the three things you do, and now we're going to kind of lay it out like Natalie said, game plan, get social. So listen, I would not be on this phone call, Natalie, if it weren't for Facebook. Matty V, the guy that helped me put this graphic together, we were friends on Facebook. I didn't really know Matty V. I can't even remember how we connected. And I saw a Facebook post, and the company and the product was on my radar. I was intrigued that I needed to kind of get the whole story from the top. So I reached out to Matty. He did something very smart. He connected me with one of the leaders in the company. He said, hey, I don't know a whole lot, but you need to speak to this dude. That dude was Michael Rutherford, and, kind of the rest is history. But because Matty V got social, okay, the G and game plan, he put a Facebook post out. It was I believe it was just a cool picture. And Michael and I did a call, guys, not too long ago, where we really delved deep into the Facebook strategy and getting social. But, it was a Facebook post that led me to Michael, and here we are 6 months later with thousands of people having had an experience with our product because of one Facebook post. So is it worth getting social, guys? Because here's the deal. Everybody lives on Facebook these days. It's just, it's an interesting world, but it's very social. And so, I think with that, Natalie, Facebook and Instagram and social media is one big party. And I think the people that do it right are just lifestyling. They're not, writing in all caps, look at my business, and their website's on every post. They're not writing diatribes. They're literally just having fun with the product. Like Nick Martinez will do a post from, he's a pilot. He'll be sitting, the keto dad. I mean, clearly the guy's having fun. He's got his little daughter and videos and Facebook posts. Watch how that guy gets social. You may not be a video person. You may not be that good or clever, but all of us can do it in a fun, social, real way. And at the end of the day, it's all about lifestyle. So, there's a couple posts there, Natalie, a couple examples like, you don't have an experience day one, right, when you order the product. But what could you do the very day you order your product to do a couple things? One, pique curiosity. Two, kind of getting social, letting your network know what you're up to, but without being weird or pitchy or salesy or, I always say don't put on your salesman's hat when you join our company. Just have fun. So there's a couple little example posts, right? The woohoo, just ordered my pure therapeutic ketones. Can't wait to experience better. Come on, UPS man. And then there's the little graphic there, the adult version of the ice cream truck, UPS. And then there's Michael's post up above, and anybody that knows Michael knows that he's a huge Ohio State Buckeyes fan. So that dude's done a really good job of getting social, having fun. You never see him pitching the product or the business, but people are very intrigued, not to mention the guy's released Natalie, 50 pounds now?
Yeah.
So he literally looks like another person. His face is half the size it used to be. His pregnant belly's gone. And so if you have those kind of pictures, it's not going to be day one. But just kind of, document the journey to better on Facebook. If you use Instagram, use that. But I think the key is, Natalie, have fun when you get social. Yeah. Keep it real.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would echo one of my my tips that I give everybody on Facebook is through your social media, if people know how much it is and how to order it, you're saying too much.
Absolutely.
Your job should be to pique interest so that people are asking questions. So, like, I never post my link. I never answer people's questions directly in a thread. When somebody's like, well, what is it? I see people, well, here's my link. I wouldn't recommend that just because you lose the power of who's looking at that and how to follow up and how to answer their questions. So one tip that I tell everybody to tuck away, like if you have a pen and a paper, you can write this down. I stole it from a great mentor of mine. Anytime that somebody's interest is piqued on social media and they begin to ask questions, you want to take them offline as quickly as possible because you can't convey energy, you can't convey tone, you can't convey excitement. If I send you a message and I say, Jared, this stuff is so exciting, it's changed my life. Like, as opposed to talking to me on the phone and I'm like, Jared, you have no idea what this has done for me. Like, it's crazy. Like, so you can't convey tone. So I use this little phrase. I say, I text them, I Facebook message them back and I say, hey, I find Facebook really impersonal. I'd love to connect. When's a great time? Like,
that's good.
Let's take this offline. Let's connect. So use Facebook to pique interest. Don't get weird. Don't post your links. Don't just pique people's interest. That should be your goal. So number 2, and we're going to have to maybe move a little quicker.
Real quick, Natalie. I know it's going to be a longer than 30-minute call today, clearly. I was just going to add to that. I think that's brilliant. And another little tip on that note, because that's such an important distinction, right? Like, get social. But what happens there, on my post or Michael's example post, what will happen is people will say exactly that. They'll go, whoa, what are these pure therapeutic ketones? And notice we didn't necessarily say the name of the company or the product there because Mr. Google is a big satisfier of curiosity. And I don't necessarily want people going right to Google to get the information I want to get them. I want to kind of help guide that exposure. And so one of the things I've learned that also works well, Natalie, and it's really what you touched on, is in the comments, if Natalie were to say, dude, what are these pure therapeutic ketones? We see it all the time, Natalie. They go, oh, my God, it's changed my life in the comments. Here's my link. Oh, my God. And literally their website's in 15 of comments underneath every person. So another little tip that I like to do is just say, hey, Natalie, great question. I'll PM you some info. I'll PM you. Personal message. And so then you take it off the wall, the public forum, into a private forum, and then use what you've got best. Natalie, obviously, guys, you can hear her. She's an incredible communicator, her voice, her energy, inflection. If she calls me, I'm signing up for whatever she's got. You may not have that confidence yet, right? Like, you know what I mean, Natalie? So not everybody's necessary, but they're excited. So sometimes I use text, but I'll tell you, Micah Winder, I think, and maybe it's you, but I know y'all use this very effectively, and I've started using it, is in Facebook Messenger and on the iPhone, I don't know about the Droid, there is a little microphone that allows you to record your voice. So even if you don't call them, like you say, hey, Natalie, I'll PM you some info, and then I could literally go to her message her through Facebook, the app, and say, hold record and say, hey, Natalie, I find Facebook really impersonal. Just wanted to ding you a quick message. Hey, this stuff's been amazing. I don't know if you know much about ketones. Let's hop on the phone, but in the meantime, here's a 3-minute video link. Watch it and let's talk. And so I can actually send my voice in a memo, and I know there's a lot of people on the team that use voice messaging very effectively. So text, type, talk, call them. I think all of it works, and just, use what you're most comfortable with.
Yeah, great tip. So that's the G of get social. The A in the game plan is ask and allow. So it's ask better questions, be a better listener. Jared, I can tell you, well, if this isn't the most important section, the next one might be, but this is probably the second most important idea that anybody could learn to be massively successful in this business is how to ask great questions and how to be a listener. Because when you ask great questions, if I can identify what your issues are, if I can identify the problems that you'd like to solve, then it becomes very, very easy for me to use a third-party tool that will speak directly to you, right? So if I'm like role-playing an example with you, Jared, and you tell me, hey, Nat, I gained 20 pounds with the birth of our son, and I just don't feel great about myself. I wouldn't hook you up with a tool that would be about a female dealing with inflammation. I would hook you up with a tool that is a guy just like you who's already lost the amount of weight or more that you're wanting to lose. So I think the A and the M are like best friends holding hands.
Nice.
So give us some pointers on asking great questions.
You bet. Great question. So, here's the deal, guys. It's real simple, right? The person, the team, the tribe, listening to this call or the recording that allows the most people to experience pure therapeutic ketones in their body wins. Period. End of story. So knowing nothing more than that, if you can go, as Micah Winder on Natalie's team says out in Austin, rock stars her and Lewis, go get people dosed. The team that allows the most people to experience the product, get dosed, as they call it out in Austin, wins. And they'll help the most people, and as a result, they'll end up making the most money. So the easiest path, right, to A to B, from me contacting my friend Natalie, she's not local, so I can't just go, hey, Natalie, when can we get together? I want you to, experience something. I want to shake up a keto cocktail for you. So the quickest path to have them experience a product, whether it's a sample, a 30-day supply, a go pack, whatever the case may be, maybe you've got to ask a few questions. Maybe you've got somebody in your life like I had with Mitch Newman, who pretty much, I didn't ask him anything. It took me 3 years to get him to try bulletproof coffee or butter coffee, native coffee. If we had keto cream 3 years ago, he would have been all over it, but it involved work. He finally tried it. It changed his life, not quite like this product, but it was profound. And so when I texted Mitch to allow him to experience this product, what I sent him was, dude, I found it, bulletproof coffee on steroids. And he was in. So I didn't have to ask Mitch questions, but with other people it may be like that, right, Natalie? Like, hey, Natalie, I know Corey's been, off. He's got a lot of pain in his back. He's not flying. Listen, what do you know about the benefits of ketones or ketosis? And I shut up. So whether that's a text message, whether that's a phone call, or I think the easy route now are these voice memos on the messenger. She may come back and go, absolutely nothing, dude. What is that? Well, the next question may or may not be pertinent. What do you know about pure therapeutic ketones? That may be a little bit repetitive when she knows nothing about ketones, right? Because then it'd be duh, nothing. So
right.
Asking questions is simply to engage them and get them to want to know more. And I think one of the biggest problems we make, I'm still guilty of it, I've been doing this 20 years, we get so excited. We want to puke all over people and tell them everything about Dr. Dom and NASA and DARPA and, Dustin Schaefer's website and, Natalie Kilbourne. I mean, you just ask a question or two and listen to the response. And listen also out in life like you do. You gave a great example, Natalie, out in, at the grocery store line the other day when you were talking with Mick. Ladies were talking about something. You listen to life through Prove It or Keto OS ears, and you look to help people experience better. So we're always listening. We're asking questions. What was your great question you asked those ladies, Natalie? Sending them a video, I think.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, if I would use. So if I overhear you talking about something that a keto West would be a benefit for, or, I'm in the grocery store line and two ladies are talking about their weight or something, I might turn around and just say, I'm so sorry. Like, I totally just overheard your conversation, but have you all ever heard of pure therapeutic ketones? Like, that's my favorite. Have you ever heard of pure therapeutic ketones? The answer is no, 99.9% of the time. And when they say no, I say, I overheard you talking about weight loss, and we're seeing some massive, crazy benefits from ketones. I have a video. If I sent you a video, would you watch it? Like,
there it is. Magic question.
If I sent you a video, would you watch it? Because what that does, Jared, is it doesn't say, I need you to watch this video, I'm going to send it to you. And now I'm like imposing my video on you. No. Shh.
Right.
Now my dog's barking.
There's your dog.
It's this 2-pound chihuahua that is like attacking the cat.
Nice.
So the first scenario, I'm going to send you a video, you got to watch it. It feels like you're doing me a favor. But the other way, hey, if I sent it to you, like I might not even send it to you. You might not be qualified to even check it out if this doesn't fit something that would be of a help for you. So if I send it to you, would you watch it? And now you've given me a commitment of, yeah, I'll watch it. Okay, great.
That's a great question.
So, and you can do if I would you with anything. If I invited you to a keto mixer, would you come? If I gave you the details to a call tonight that would give you like a super education on, this keto thing that we're talking about, would you dial in? If I
were to shake you up a keto cocktail, would you drink it?
You got it. You got it. You can use that if I would you for anything. If I do the dishes tonight, babe, will you? I mean, you can really use it for a lot of things, right? So that to me is one of the best questions to ask, because you're not assuming that they're interested, nor are you imposing your own goals or wishes on them, But really great questions. I always tell people, Jared, like, more than mastering business skills, like you could read network marketing books till you're blue in the face. In my opinion, the thing that you need to master is people skills. If you have great people skills and you can develop the ability to chat with people, talk to people, make friends very quickly, that's probably one of the I'm not a talented salesperson. I struggle in a lot of areas, but one thing I've just gotten really great at is making a stranger a friend very quickly. And that skill comes from asking questions. And you can strike up a conversation in like the most random, like, oh my gosh, maybe not dudes, but like me, I'm like, oh man, I love your hair. That's so pretty. Where do you get your hair done? Oh yeah, that's right over by blah, blah, blah. My kids go to West. Your kids go to West. And you just kind of strike up this conversation. And when you ask people enough questions about themselves, then it always reciprocates back to you. Well, what do you do? Or, where do you work? Or, and you can practice. Like, there's no messing it up. Like, practice on strangers. Practice on the person behind you in line at the grocery. Practice on the captive audience of the person checking your groceries out, or the person at the store where you work. Ask them. Don't say, hey, are you having a good day? Say, oh, man, is your shift almost over? Like, how long have you been here? Practice just the art of getting people talking, and that alone will translate into some really epic things in your business when you can get people talking. Because as soon as you have people, as soon as they get talking, it's shocking what they will tell you. I'm dealing with massive depression. You know what? I might have something that could help you. I'm dealing with, my weight. I have this issue, or I'm not making enough money. Like, I ask people all the time, like, is this your dream job? Like, you absolutely love it here? Nobody ever says yes. They're all like, no, this is just what I'm doing to pass time because, my wife's in college and we needed extra income, or I can't wait to get out of this job or whatever. And I'm like, if you don't love this, there's some really cool gifts that I see in you. Just, you're so nice. You're a great waitress. Like, I might have something that could rescue you from this place. You got to take a look. If I sent you a video, would you watch it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Sorry,
you're
I sort of
you're
took
masterful.
over.
No. You're a masterful relationship builder, and I think that's the key, guys. Like, I think, we can sometimes really overthink this, right, Natalie? Like, this is a great call. We're 40 minutes into the game plan, and this is obviously not your typical 15, 20-minute huddle call, but this stuff's important, guys. But, again, don't overthink it, right? Like, what's interesting to me, Natalie, is before this company and this product, I felt like I needed to be a network marketing professional. I needed to, quote-unquote, go pro. We're not talking about our go pro promotion, but I got to be honest with you. And I think you'd really agree with this. If we just get good at building relationships and just being real and authentic, this product, guys, is the all-star. So you don't have to be. And, take what Natalie said to heart, because if people know, like, and trust you, and they feel like you've got their best intentions, just don't goof it up. Just don't overtalk. And, I think there's two great pictures in that ask and allow. We cut his head out, but that is Mitch Newman, our friend out in Beverly Hills. He's got an interesting shirt on holding out a sample of product. He's got a Pure Therapeutic Keto cocktail in his left hand, and he's extending his hand to you, allowing you to experience better. And Mitch came up with the saying, the hashtag SUAD stands for shut up and drink. Like, at the end of the day, guys, we can really overtalk, overcomplicate. And again, let's go back to the person, the team, the tribe, the community that allows the most people to experience our product wins. And when I say wins, helps the most people experience better, and the paycheck's just kind of a side benefit of that. And then to the right of that, Natalie, is my buddy David Luna, another shameless plug for Freedom Boat Club in the back there at the marina. And there is a keto cream sample on the table at Starbucks. There's a little pat of Kerrygold butter. You might see it if y'all can zoom in. And what I did with David is we just sat, experienced our product. He asked me a few questions and was ready to get started. So absolutely, what Natalie said is gold, guys. Build relationships. Let people know you care. And the rest is going to unfold when you let them experience the product. Because I got to tell you, there are non-network marketing professionals in our community, Natalie, you see it, that are not pros, but they are crushing it here because of the product.
Right.
Crushing it,
Crush it, yes.
Yeah. So I think, Natalie, at the end of the day, if we talk too much, we can lose people. So take it to heart and have fun with it, guys. Like, shut up and drink is really a motto that you should tell yourself and tell it to others. And if you say it in the right, framed right, they won't get offended and slap you. They'll probably just shut up and drink it. But I love the way you say the A and the M hold hands, because you went right into that with your, hey, ladies, I overheard your conversation. So sorry to interrupt you, but listen, and you said, if I were to send you a 3-minute video, would you take a look at it? And you shut your mouth. And they said, yeah. Sure. And then I love the way you
pull up my cell phone and I text it to them.
Boom. Right. Like, you don't ask. You just say, hey, what's your cell phone? I'll text it to you real quick. So right away, there's our transition to the M. I'll let you take it, Natalie.
Yes. Well, and if you guys need resources, I think there's so many books and great resources to teach you the skills that we were just talking about, people skills, how to ask great questions. So a couple things I'd recommend. One of my favorite authors, John C. Maxwell, he has a lot of great books on leadership and people. He has a new one that just came out, I think it was last year. It's Good Leaders Ask Great Questions. That's a great book. Another great resource is How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's one of those oldies but a goodie. You can learn a lot from that book if you feel like, I really struggle in the area of people skills or making strangers friends very quickly. There's absolutely some great resources for that. So transitioning to the M, so we got G, get social, A, ask and allow, M, make use of the third-party tool. This is, in my opinion, Jared, this is what separates the amateurs from the pros, this step right here. I know that the reason that I've had great success in network marketing here and in the past is because I get out of the way as quickly as possible. Because I would have the tendency to screw it up or say too much or, I don't know, and I experienced that here, when you get started in anything, I think people can have the fear of, well, I don't know enough to answer people's questions, so I'm just not going to talk about it because I'm afraid of what people will ask me that I don't know the answer to. I had never heard the word ketone until August 30th. So I felt that fear myself. Well, crap, how am I going to tell my friend, like, oh man, you got to try this, it's so awesome. I have no idea what it is or how it works. So one of my favorite things on that list, there's a whole list, you guys. Share videos, personal Prove It website, research and FAQ links, encourage three-way calls, Prove It Facebook page, invite to the weekly calls on Monday, the keto cocktail mixers and workshops, leverage the experience and stories of your team. There is 100 ways to skin the cat. So a couple of my tips, and then I'd love to hear yours, is match the tool or the third-party tool specifically with the need of your prospect. So when you get good at asking great questions, you understand this is a mom of 3 kids who has 30 pounds that she'd like to lose. I wouldn't hook that girl up with Jared necessarily. I would hook that girl up with a mom in our team who's lost 30 pounds. If I'm talking to a super, buff bodybuilder who knows everything about sports and nutrition and he's got some super specific questions, I probably am not the best resource to hook that guy up with. But you get him on with Jared, who has a fitness background, or you get him on with Michael, who's just like the warlord of all things, and you let them banter back and forth. And I would tell you guys, the fastest way to learn this business, you're like, man, I wish I could talk like Michael, or I wish I had the skills of Jared, or whatever it is, whoever you're working with in your team, Michael or Red or Micah or whoever you're working with in the team. In my opinion, the best way to learn is on mute. The more that I can be muted, the better it is, because not only is somebody doing a call and answering all those questions, so the pressure's off of me as the new kid on the block, but I have a pen and paper, and I'm taking notes the whole time. How do they answer the question? Not just the details, not just the they said XYZ, but how did they answer the question that would lead them to, want to experience ketones? Like if somebody says, hey, I can't afford it, and you don't know how to answer that question, you need to get somebody on a three-way call and listen to how they answer it. I can answer those questions because I've been on three-way calls on mute time and time and time and time again until that information and that tempo and that experience just rubs off on me, and now I can handle that stuff. But I still, like, Jared, you were on the call last night. We did we zoomed into a challenge, we zoomed into a keto mixer. That was epic right there. We zoomed into a keto mixer, and it was Jared and me and one of the team leaders, Mickey from Illinois, and we zoomed into a keto mixer that had about 20 people there. And somebody asked a question, and of course they kind of look at me like, well, now you're the head of the team, answer the question. And I knew the answer to the question, but I wasn't 100% sure like how to convey it and how to go about it. So I just looked over at Nick and I was like, hey Nick, can you take that one? And I wrote it down. Like, I don't think you ever arrive, Jared, as like the uber expert on all things. But when you work together as a team and you have somebody there who's got your back, you don't have to feel like, man, I don't know enough to have a mixer. I don't know enough to prospect, to talk about the business. I don't know enough to So the tools do the talking for you. If your lips are moving, it should be pointing them to a tool.
Mm-hmm.
We always told people, point people to the tool, don't be the tool. So that's that's my 2 cents. What do you have to say?
No, I think that's spot on, Natalie. I mean, listen, I was the expert for many years. As a trainer, it's all about us, right? Like our clients come to us for everything, including advice not related to fitness. So I was that guy at one time, and it was exhausting. In fact, I think that's why I left the fitness business, is I just felt like I was overwhelmed. I needed to know the answers to everything about diet, nutrition, everything about exercise, solving marital problems, you name it. Like, they came to me for everything. And if you're a trainer on the call, you're probably laughing, going, yep, that's me. I mean, a lot of times you're more their psychotherapist than you are their trainer. And don't get me wrong, I loved it because I love people. But here's my goal, Natalie, and you guys are going to probably think this is funny, but I'd rather be dumb and wealthy and free than smart and broke. That'd probably be like a red quote right there. But here's the deal. No, do I want to stay dumb and foolish about this? Absolutely not. I want to learn as much as I can. I mean, guys, this is the most fascinating conversation I've ever been around in health and wellness. But you've got to keep it simple. You've got to keep it duplicatable, because at the end of the day, we talked about it earlier, the people that allow the most people to experience our product win. And the people that can keep this thing the most simple to allow their team to go out and duplicate what they're doing win better, win bigger. So, Natalie, I mean, you're spot on. I mean, we have to be the, messenger, not the message. So a lot of times people will ask me or Natalie things, or Nick or Mitch or you name it, Michael, they know the answers, but they're not always going to be the expert because, one, it's a lot of time and energy, and I'd rather point and shoot. I mean, if I can have, I firmly believe, in fact, we've seen it with that 3 or 7 minute animated video, guys, and a sample of the product, or have them order 30 days. By just showing the animated video, they're going to get a grasp on what this technology is, what is the pure therapeutic ketone, what are the benefits. You can, like Michael does so well now, and that's something we're all duplicating, turn the can sideways. Read the list of benefits. When people say, what will this do for me? Go, you know what? That's a great question, Natalie. I'm learning about this conversation. It's fascinating. You know my story. But let's just read this over, the benefits together. And as you're reading those benefits, if it's one-on-one, you'll see them nodding, going, yeah, I need that, I need that, I need that. Like, there's pretty much not a benefit on there that most people that we're talking to don't want. So let the tools do the talking. I love that point you and Nick made. If your mouth is moving, you should be pointing to a tool. And if you get discombobulated and you get nervous, hold that can. You always see Michael Rutherford. He's either holding the can or a keto cocktail mixer, shaker bottle, or do both, and you'll never go wrong. You're either pointing to the benefits or you're telling them to shut up and drink and experience the product, and you win. So let the tools do the talking. Take the sales hat off. Natalie, I like to pretend I'm a Prove It Keto OS tour guide, and I want to guide them through the tools. Yeah, it's a neat little analogy, right? Like, just be a great tour guide, build relationships, and I'll tell you what, guys, my goal is to have at least 2 people a day watch the animated video. I think Mick said he liked the 7-minute one. Based on the person, like if they're super busy, I can never get them. 7-minute may be too long, but I'll tell them just watch the first 60 seconds of the 3-minute. You know what? They watch all 3 minutes. Funny how that works. And then, Natalie, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the Approve It Facebook page and how we should leverage that real quick. And I know this call is going to be about an hour, but hopefully it'll be a gem we can use over and over.
For sure, yeah. So the corporate Facebook page, you guys, if you go and search that, you can find it very easily on Facebook. It is one of the best tools we have for exposing your prospects to a lot of really great stories in a really quick manner. So you can take people there and like it. You can pull it up on your laptop and say, oh my gosh, like I just saw a story the other day that is just like you're telling me that you'd like to experience. Hold on, let me pull that up. And you hand them your phone and you let them read the story of the mom of 3 that lost 40 pounds. Or you let them read the story of the guy who's just like them, or the student who's just like them, or so that Prove It corporate Facebook page, you guys will see that more and more and more. I know coming out of Vegas, that will be one of the main prospecting tools that Brian would like us to use just to get that going. So I would encourage you guys, in order to use that tool, you need to know about the tool. So make sure you guys are going there, liking posts, commenting on posts, cheering people on, play team. And when you do that, I would do it once a day. You don't have to spend a ton of time on there, but do it once or twice a day where you're just kind of seeing, and you'll have those stories always fresh in your mind. So when you ask somebody a great question, like, you know, of all these benefits, what's the one, like if you could pick one to like guarantee that you'd get that benefit, which one would it be? And then you share with them the stories of people that are just like them getting the benefits that they really want. And it's a super powerful way to expose people. So
tour guide and a matchmaker, right, Natalie? Matchmaker.
Yes, that's it.
Be a tour guide and a matchmaker. I mean, guys, you know, we've all, Natalie, I know you've got hundreds. I've got quite a few people that are in my pipeline. You know, and when I say drip on them, that's kind of a weird term, but you want to keep them in the loop. So every time I see a story that relates to the person that's in my pipeline, whether they're in or not, I mean, that's a great way to build relationships. Hey, Natalie, I just saw this guy has been in pain, has been off his job for 2 months, and I thought of Corey. And I shoot her over that link to the Prove It Facebook page user experience. And you know what that does? One, it tells her that I'm not just trying to sell her my product. I'm literally trying to inspire her to want to participate, at least order up some ketones and see if it'll help Corey. So I listen to people when they talk, guys, and I think about not how can I get them or sell them or, you know, pitch them. How can I add value to this person's life? So when I look at tools, I'm looking at which tool would be a great match for that person. So Natalie, I think you're absolutely right. You get to know the tools. Mick said it, get familiar with your website. That Prove It Now extension, I mean, guys, that is an unbelievable resource. For ordering, I like to use, and I'm jumping ahead here, this is Engage to Enroll, so let me shut up. But, yeah, be a matchmaker and a tour guide.
Awesome, awesome. You guys are getting some golden nuggets today. I hope y'all are taking notes. Or worst case scenario, if you're listening at your office, you'd replay and write some of this stuff down. And then the last one here, on the E on the game, is Engage to Enroll. So you've created value, you've gauged their interest, and now it's time to help them get started. I don't know about you guys, but I used to have this big fear, Jared, of asking for the order.
Yeah.
And, you know, I would plan these events. I would take all the time and energy to invite people to my house. I would, you know, have the expense of product and ingredients and things like that. And, you know, I go through all these steps to, you know, expose people to my company or my idea. And then at the end of the night, there comes this point where you got to ask for the order. And I felt so uncomfortable with that for a while that I actually let a ton of business slip through my fingers. And, you know, and you might feel like that too. Like, well, I've asked great questions. I hooked them up with several stories. You know, they are kind of giving me all the indicators that they're ready to go, but like, what do I do? What do I need to say? And one of the best phrases that a mentor gave me that it just takes all of the pressure off of me, you know, to come up with something. I think, Jared, when people don't know what to say, they say nothing, which was my case. So I just use the phrase, hey, are you ready to get started? That's it. Like, that's my big fancy get ready because here comes the boom closing phrase that I use with people. hey, are you ready to get started? You know, they watch the video. They send a note back that says, oh, my gosh, I'm so excited about this. This looks like what I've been looking for. And you're like, well, crap, how do I get them to order? That use my phrase. Hey, you ready to get started? Okay, Jared, so you check that out. You know, I'm super excited. I can't wait to see how this, you know, how your fat loss and your release happens over the course of the next several weeks and months with keto. Are you ready to get started? And then and people say yes. And once they say yes, then, you know, you can bring them to your website, help them enroll. The tip I'd give you guys on enrolling people is be in control of the process in such a way that you can help to guide them to the things that would help them be most successful. And if you need help with that, enroll somebody on a 3-way call. Hey, my friend's going to enroll, but I'm not sure what package to best recommend or what exactly they need to build their business. Get somebody on the phone with you who has experience in that can kind of help to walk you through, because I can tell you, although it can be done, like hear me clearly, it can be done, you are not setting somebody up for success if they order, you know, 15 sample packs and they want to go MVP. The reality is this business is built on dosing people and helping them have a keto experience, which will make, you know, helping people get started so much easier. You're not telling them, well, this is what you could experience. They're coming to you and saying, well, this is what I did experience. And it just makes helping people get started so much easier. So I always recommend to people, number one, you have to do what your budget allows. I would never recommend that people make, you know, bad financial decisions. But if they can afford it, they need samples. It's the fastest, easiest way to build a business. And if you don't feel comfortable explaining to somebody the reasoning behind why the Go Pack is really the obvious choice for them to not only get started, but to help them build a fast business, get somebody on the phone with you. You know, get Nick Kirshner on the phone with you that can help to explain that to somebody. Hey, look, you got to have samples. It's not because we want your sale or we're trying to upsell you or we want your money. As a professional builder, I can tell you you're going to need samples in order to help people get started. And there's people like that in every single leg of every single business. So you might say, well, I'm not on your and Jared's team. It don't matter. I don't care where you are in this organization. There is somebody in your team who is better at that than you are, and they can help you. So on the close, sometimes you got to ask for it, and sometimes you just say something silly like, hey, you're ready to get started, and that's enough of a nudge for them to just make the decision, okay, I'm ready. So what's your have you always felt like you're great at asking for the sale kind of when it comes to that moment to enroll, or have you had to learn some tricks yourself?
Yeah, good question. You know, I was thinking about that as you were talking. You know, I think I've always been comfortable, but I wasn't necessarily good with it, right? So I'd probably overtalk and oversell, and, you know, that pushes people away. So I love that statement, and I use it myself often when I remember to talk too much and just say, hey, Nat, you ready to get started? Are you ready? Another one I like is, hey, you ready to get some pure therapeutic ketones in the mail to you? Are you ready to get your better on? Like, one of the things, guys, that I will tell you, and it's a common theme, just have fun with people. Like, this isn't life or death. I mean, it kind of is for some, but we have people's best interests at mind. We know if we can get this product in people's bodies, they are going to experience better. And so what's interesting, Natalie, is I've had to unlearn a lot of quote-unquote skills I learned in the industry to just get back to being who I am and being real. And I think, guys, when you don't have an agenda other than better on your mind, it's going to show up. The right words, the right energy, and, yeah, I mean, you ready to get started? Or, you know, let's get some product on the way. I mean, I know we just did an event in South Carolina with Buffy Ashmore, and she had a couple people that were super, super excited. And, you know, I think we were just so excited at the moment. I mean, they were clearly.
Uh-oh, you cut out. Jared, come back.
Am I back? Am I back now?
There you are. Sit still.
Okay, I'm not going to move. Yes, I'm still standing right by the pool still. So we didn't ask them to place the order then. So with good follow-up, and follow-up's key, we asked, hey, you ready to get started? Or Martha, hey, I'm so excited for you to help lead the Hispanic market out in South Carolina. Are you ready to get started? She goes, yes, absolutely. I just have a few questions. And Buffy and I and her were in a three-way thread. Again, Facebook Messenger, great tool. Allows you to stay connected. You can friend them on Facebook. And I, kind of stepped in with and for Buffy and just said, well, hey, let's get you going. So that third-party credibility, because they know, like, and trust Buffy, but sometimes you're so close to that person, it is a little weird to ask them, hey, let's get you going. But I can come in and just nudge them forward positively, knowing she's going to benefit. So we're doing what's best for them, guys. So don't ever think you're selling, closing. I like to look at it as we're opening people up to new possibilities. We're opening them up for better. So whatever you do, just keep that at the forefront of your mind and help them get what they want.
I love that. So some
one
people,
thing I was
Jared,
going to say, Natalie. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Well,
I was just going to say on the order.
I was just going to say, so there's two options. When you say, to sort of full circle it, when you say, are you ready to get started, some people will say, yes, absolutely, right? And then take them to the side, lead them through, if how long they want their experience to be, how many people in the household will be having the experience, so you can help them get, because there's nothing worse than somebody getting a 15-day sample. They feel like Superman, and on day 14 they call you in this horrific panic because they realize they only have one left. So I'm like, you got to get this on auto ship, because I'm just telling you, when you run out, it doesn't feel good, because you're going to be you're going to be feeling peak, and then you're just going to fall off the ledge. So just get on auto ship. But sometimes people say, I'm not really ready to, or they hem and they haw. And at that point, what you do is you go back up to step number 2, which is ask more questions. What is it that you need to learn? What are you still looking for in information that would help you make a decision? What kind of, do you need more? Some people need more stories. Some people need more proof. Some people need more scientific data. Some people need, if it's on the business end, some people need comp plan questions. Some people need to meet leadership. And honestly, Jared, most of the time it's something that's so simple. It literally might be they're one article away from making a decision to get started, but they just have this question like, well, I have kidney stones. I don't know how it will work with that. But you don't know what their hang-up is until you simply ask the question. So whenever you're hung up on, are they ready, are they not ready, go back to step 2, ask great questions again. And here's the reality. When you ask people what their hang-up is, they tell you. Hey, Jared, I'm not ready to make a decision because, my finances were really tight. Hey, no problem. Maybe they thought they had to get started on a 30-day sample, and you tell them, oh, you can get started on 15 days until that next pay period or until your finances improve, and at least get started. Oh, perfect, I'll place the order. You solve you kind of solve for X. Maybe they say, I really want to get started, but I have XYZ condition that concerns me. Okay, let's help you get those questions answered, because once that's satisfied, they're ready to go. So whenever in doubt, loop back in whatever phase of the conversation you are with somebody. If you're in doubt, loop back up to asking more questions. That's all I was going to say. What were you going to say?
I forgot. No. That was great. I mean, you have to ask those questions, and then just look. Here's what's cool, Natalie. I don't know about you, but everything else I've done up until this point in my career inside this profession has been largely about recruiting and kind of using skills. And I hate to say it, but in a sense, it's almost manipulation. It's getting people to do what they might not be ready to do yet. And not in an evil or sinister way, guys. I mean, that's not on my heart, but just, we become that which we're part of. And so a lot of culture inside our community, a lot of behaviors is about recruit, sign everybody up as a promoter, a business builder, and, the biggest package. Here's what's kind of cool. Let people fit in. Let people get in where they fit in. So it's normal, guys, if you're not from this industry, if you're just talking to a nurse or a fireman or a next-door neighbor or a stay-at-home mom, for them to say, hey, you know what, Natalie? Yeah, I'm ready to get some. And then you ask them, right, hey, how do you see yourself fitting in as a product, just using the product as a customer and enjoying it? Or do you also want to share and socialize it and create some additional income? Now, here's what's interesting. Most people, I find, outside of our profession, quote-unquote normal people, are going to go, you know what, I just want to try the product. And in the past, Natalie, I used to almost try and talk them out of it. Here, I go, great, you're a customer.
Great.
Let's get you signed up and get some product. Let's get some product on the way. Never use that word sign up, by the way. It's a horrible word. Let's get you registered as a customer, get some product on the way. And here's what's magical, guys. It's all about the product. Let them get in where they fit in. Don't upsell. I mean, yeah, educate absolutely, but take them through your Experience Keto website. And that was a little nuance I was going to make, Natalie. We have 2 websites now, guys. The Prove It Now, I look as kind of an online tour. It's a brochure. Like Nick Karshner said, it is loaded with information. Get to know it so you can point and shoot. If I've got a bodybuilder, power lifter, I'm going to take them right to that website and let them watch Brandon Lilly's testimony, the power lifter. There's something for everybody on that website. However, when they're ready to order, and I know this is clean for you, Natalie, is just take them to the Experience Keto website and let them order right there. There's a big blue button and a white button that says Customer Promoter. You've asked them the question. Let them, or you do it for them if you're sitting with them, let them click where they fit in and get started. And so I think that's really cool is, look, Natalie, your organization probably is pretty similar, but, 51% of the thousands on our tribe are just customers right now. And you know what, guys? That's really good for business. So if they say customer, celebrate that. Be excited. Not everybody's going to sniff out the opportunity. As Natalie says, I love that. The entrepreneurs, they'll sniff it out. Not everybody's like us. So let them get in where they fit in. Just help them get started.
Perfect. Well, everybody needs to text Michael and tell him that today's huddle was so short and so awesome that nobody turn us in. Nobody turn us in. We're going.
I hope it's not just us on the phone anymore, Natalie. We might want to check that.
No, I've been getting several texts from people saying, hey, this is really great info. This is definitely worth it. We need the replay. So thanks, guys. If you had to, pop off or you had somebody on your team pop off, just get them the replay. I know the huddles are usually much shorter, but I think this game plan is really valuable, and hopefully through those 4, GAME steps, you guys will pick out things that resonate with you and that, really help you to build your business, build your skill level. And at the end of the day, everybody wins. So I get to see you in Vegas, Jared. I'm super excited. It's just a couple sleeps away. And if y'all haven't made a commitment for Vegas, do it. Book your tickets. Get there. You won't regret it. It's going to be, number one, just a fun. Imagine like the most fun family reunion you've ever been to, hanging out with people that you hear on these calls and that you meet through social media, but you actually get to put a name to their face and or to their voice, I should say, and meet with them. So, and just the amount of learning. I always tell people, like, if you don't come to the event, it's going to take you several months to catch up, because what we can accomplish in 48 hours all together in just the atmosphere with the growth and the training and the feeling and the belief and the vibe and all of that will take months for somebody to do one-on-one. So it really gives you a head start being at events like this. So I can't wait to see y'all at the event. Jared, thank you so much. I know you've got a busy day, so thanks for spending the time to help and train the rest of the tribe. Thank you for putting that together, and a big shout-out to Maddie V for doing all of the beautification of your idea.
Thanks for all your feedback, Natalie. Really appreciate it.
Oh, I'm excited. All right, everybody, make it a great day. This call is officially a wrap.
Fun, guys. An hour later. Woo! Bye, guys.